Hey everybody, welcome to Kimmel's Irish Pub. We're back again. Dominic and I are getting together again. It's the end of 2024, and we want to talk about our top five movies that we saw in the second half of the year. If you haven't seen the top five from the first half of the year, make sure you check that out. So we're trying to keep this for the second half. This isn't the whole year encompassing. So you get 10 great movies right here, right now for the second half of the year. Maybe we have some overlaps, maybe we don't. Who knows? We're going to all find out together. Dominic, welcome. Thanks for coming.
Thanks, Jeff. Thanks for having me. I really enjoy doing this sort of thing with you. It's a privilege.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So hopefully all of the audience, I'm watching the views from the first half. I think we had a bunch of people watch that one. So hopefully you all come back and enjoy this. Love to hear your comments. What were your top five movies? Agree with any of us, or disagree? Love to hear it. All right, so let's start. Let's get rolling here. Everybody wants to know. We're gonna go from five up to your number one. Dominic, I'm gonna throw it over to you again. Let you start. What was or if you have any honorable mentions, anything, you take it over.
Thanks, Jeff. So I actually, it's good news. I did have a handful of honorable mentions. Subservience with Megan Fox. I know as we're recording this, it's on Netflix. I actually feel as if I discovered this movie. I pay-per-viewed this like 3 months before it came to 4 months ago. And I don't know, I just liked it. I was just in a good frame of mind when I saw it. I mean, I love Megan Fox. I mean, I wonder why. But I just liked it. Her wooden acting finally paid off playing the robot in Subservience. Another movie a lot of people probably didn't see was Elevation, starring Anthony Mackie and Maureen Bassarian. She's basically Deadpool's girlfriend. She was in The Mentalist 2 years ago. It was a little bit of a survivalist movie, but I really liked it. A lot of people kind of bagged on it, said it wasn't too good, but I don't know. I thought it was efficiently made. I thought it was a little bit an economical movie, and I liked both of those actors, so I left the theater happy with that one. Honorable mention, another one was Red One, starring Dwayne Johnson and Chris Evans. I'm a sucker for a Christmas movie. This is an interesting tale because this movie was a colossal flop in the cinema, but they released it on Amazon Prime and it did ridiculously well, just like at home on streaming. So maybe they'll move forward with a sequel, even though it did so poorly. And the last one was Reagan with Dennis Quaid. I mean, it's pretty hard to go wrong with Dennis Quaid. So just real quick, those are four. But for the real number five of the best of the second half of 2024, I mean, people are probably going to start throwing tomatoes at the screen and saying that this should be on the other list. Joker 2. I think that I'm a Joker 2 fan, actually. Todd Phillips, Joaquin Phoenix, and Lady Gaga. Look, I'm not saying it was a perfect movie. It's number five on the list for a reason. I'm only talking about 6 months here. But I thought that there was a lot to Joker 2. There was a lot that wasn't great with it. Some of the music was unnecessary. It was overly long. There was some things that were convoluted. So just to get that out of the way, I did not think it was a perfect movie. There were definitely flaws. But the whole thing about, what the public expects of you and what you actually are and what they want you to be. They want them to be Joker, but it was really Arthur Fleck. The whole thing with the Harley Quinn or Quinn girlfriend. Some people even said she was imaginary and a lot of items of that nature. The whole thing about the legal system. Does the legal system actually work? Think about this, for example, this guy Luigi, we don't know what's going to happen with him. You could maybe equate it or put it to something like that. The acting was still rock solid. Some of the musical numbers were great. And, the ending, I don't know, I'm kind of split on the very ending exactly. But I honestly think that in 10 years from now, people are going to look back at that movie. I don't want to say they'll say it was a masterpiece, but they'll say this got bad reviews before and it was actually quite good. I think the movie's ahead of its time. Again, it has its flaws, that's for sure. That's why it's number five. But I'm giving an unpopular opinion that Joker 5 ended up on the best, the second half of 2024. For Joker 2 ended up at number five on the list, rather.
Okay, all right. So I'll touch on your honorable mentions real quick. I saw them all except for Reagan. I have that on my list. I just haven't had a chance to watch it. I think that's on Amazon Prime. So I'll have to throw that out there. And everything else, I agree with your honorable mentions. I liked Red One. That was a fun movie. So glad you brought that up. It's Subservience. You're right with Megan Fox. Finally found a role she could do. And she did it great. What was Elevation. I just saw that one recently.
Oh,
I
good.
like that too. I enjoyed that a lot. Didn't make my top five or, I don't have any honorable
Good.
mentions, but yeah, that
Good.
one was definitely worth watching. It's kind of a hidden gem there, I think.
I think so.
Um, Now, as far as Joker, um, I didn't enjoy it as much as you. I liked Joaquin Phoenix, and I like what's her name as well. I thought, and I like the introduction of Harley Quinn, but it just didn't. I don't know. I think I can't get over the fact that they keep changing our DC characters. And that
Yeah.
always bothers me. And it seems like there'll be more changes. So, but good, great. So there's your honorable mentions and five. So at number five for me, and these all, I tell you what. Besides probably one and two, three, four, and five, you could jumble up any which way. So, I throw this one out there first is Speak No Evil. So
Sure.
Speak No Evil was a phenomenal movie. I forget if it was Nordic, the original one. It's something like that. It's a foreign film, the original, but this is the Americanized version with James McAvoy in it, and Scoot McNairy is also in it, and it's about a couple, families basically, a couple and their child, meet another couple and their child on some vacation. They decide, hey, let's invite them over to the home, and so they all travel out to see this other family, and then things just start getting really, really weird. And so watching the original version again, I think they have different, like, kind of, I don't know if it's different taste or different rules. The original version was really like hard to watch. What an ending that had. And then you watch the Americanized version, a little bit different, but still really good. I really enjoyed the movie, and I think it's the connection between the two that really makes it. If you watch both, if you're gonna watch one, you got to watch both. But hopefully you'll enjoy Speak No Evil, because I thought it was very entertaining considering seeing the first one.
I'll comment on that. I actually saw both of them. I saw the new Speak No Evil in the cinema, and then I came home and I watched. I didn't even know it existed. I watched the old one. I'll be honest with you. I kind of like the original one better because of the haunting ending. I mean, the ending left
Yeah.
you. I mean, instead, you were like, what? I mean, the ending left you an impression. So, but they were both good. They were both good. It's not on my best, but yeah, I mean, I could see that. I could definitely see that. Yeah, give it a try. It was good.
Yeah. Cool. All right.
Yeah. So I believe it's my turn. The best of the second half of 2024. I know that you saw this. I saw this. I don't usually put movie. I don't think that this was theatrically released. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty dang sure it wasn't. But I loved Amber Alert. I really liked the Amber Alert movie. I know that you saw that. The director was Cara Basella, and it was starring Hayden Panettiere and Tyler James Wilson. Listen, Jeff, I mean, to me, I've Hayden Panettiere can do absolutely no wrong in my eyes. I mean, she was in a movie years ago when she was a little kid called Joe Somebody. She was in Heroes. She was in a movie called I Love You, Beth Cooper, and she was in other movies, and now she's in this. I mean, there's something magical about Hayden in my eyes. She could do no wrong for me. And it was actually a good story. It was a little bit of a glorified episode of like Cold Case or CSI or something like that, but it was just done very well. The acting was good. The story was pretty decent. The ending was a little bit abrupt, but it was good. And the Tyler Williams from Everybody Hates Chris. By the way, I couldn't figure out who he was the first half hour I was watching this because I didn't know he grew up. I wasn't, privy to him, but I just like the whole story. And again, Hayden could do absolutely no. Hayden is like an angel to me. I've always loved it.
Nice, nice. Yeah. Did you see Nashville
Oh,
Heroes?
I forgot. Yeah, she was. I mean, yeah, I didn't really follow the show, but she was in that too. I forgot. Yeah, I knew there was something else I was missing with her.
Yeah, yeah. No, she's great. Okay, yeah, good movie. All right, good, good. All right, moving on here. So I'm on my number four. And the next movie that I have, and I think, again, these could all be mixed up. A lot of them are very, very close together. And I had to pick from a list. And this one is about a group of friends that basically get together, a pre-wedding party, right? And they're inviting an estranged friend, right? A friend they haven't talked to in many, many years, since, like, I think college, back to hang out, and he's kind of like weird. And the part of I thought it was really good. It was an intriguing movie plot line. What he does, he comes and he has this box, and the movie's called What's Inside, right? And so it was on Netflix. And I think that's the other part of it. Like, I love the fact that Netflix is pumping out movies for those of us who subscribe to Netflix. And then we get to see these kinds of movies. Some of them aren't great, but this one I think hit for me. It was kind of weird. And the fact that it came right to Netflix was just a lot of fun for me. And I loved the plot line and what had happened in it. And I like the way they ended it. It was definitely different, original, and fun that it was just on Netflix. So that one was What's Inside.
Never heard of that. That's just I don't know. I've never heard of that at all. I'm usually on top of this stuff. Give it a try. I thought you were going to say Buddy Games. You were talking about college and stuff. Your favorite movie, Buddy Games 2, right?
Yeah. But that's a good point. As we go forward, one of the things I also tried to do was try and like there's major movies that were all ranked in the same, right? Like that had for me. So I left them off. I want to talk about movies that probably a lot of people haven't seen, So throw that in there as well, a little caveat.
Oh, that's good. So I think it's my turn. I mean, this was a big movie that came out in 2024, and it was pretty praised, and it did well at the box office. So there's no a little bit of a controversy. Let the cat out of the bag. We're talking about the Blair Lively controversy now that's going on. Blair Lively and the director of the movie, Justin Baldini. But the movie was It Ends With Us. It Ends With Us. I mean, I really liked it. I thought there was a little bit too much of a feminist lean that was kind of whatever have you, but I really liked it. I mean, it's kind of hard. I mean, I don't know as a person, she gets kind of mixed reviews, but as an actress, Blake Lively, I mean, it's hard not to like her. I mean, she's awesome, and she's not, she's easy on the eyes, that's for sure. But the whole thing about an abusive relationship, and she ended up in an abusive relationship, and what do you do? And I mean, it was a heavy subject. I mean, if you went there thinking it was like a romantic movie, you brought your girlfriend there, you took it to the wrong movie. You'll probably end up breaking up as you walk out of the theater. I mean, but it was kind of a heavy subject, but I guess it was dealt with correctly. I did have one critique. Spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. I don't know if you saw this, Jeff, but at the end, the husband that was abusive, could he have been redeemed or have turned around to her and said, I'm going to go to therapy and try to get better, even though I won't have much of a relationship with you? It just ended him as like a villainous type of person. Maybe there was a little hinge of redemption. I'm not sure. People might disagree with that, but at the end of the day, It Ends With Us was a good rock solid movie. It wasn't a romance though, really. I mean, so yeah, don't bring your girlfriend to it.
All right. Good to know. I have that on my list, but once the controversy hit, I kind of avoided it, so I haven't seen it yet, but I'll put it back up on there and I'll have to watch that one. Good one. All right. All right, moving on. My number three, again, trying to go like a little bit, not, off the unknown chart. There's a couple that were ranked in the same arena. And this one most recently just watched. Nick Frost is in it. So Simon Pegg, Nick Frost, and they make a lot of funny movies. This doesn't have Simon Pegg in it. But like they have a lot of good stuff together. This was him in it. And it's about a family that goes on vacation. Family of four that basically go on a vacation, to some island, where like a cult is, it seems like. And like the mother of the family had an ancestor that lived there that died there, and that's kind of why they're going there to do it. And it's just a really weird movie, and then it flips. And the movie's called Getaway, right? Getaway, as it's a vacation getaway. And once it starts to unfold, it's like, wow, did not see that coming. You're watching this movie, and it's like, okay, this is weird. The people on the island are a little weird, and they have this whole ritual kind of, I don't know, all day event that they celebrate something. And I think Ramadan or something. I forget what they call it. And, then it just turns on its side or turns on its head. I don't know. It turns on something, and it just, wow, you don't see it coming. And it's just like, it got me. I like to think I can figure a lot of stuff out, but this one was just a lot of fun right up until the end. So I enjoyed it a lot. If you like Nick Frost and his sense of humor, this is kind of like a dark comedy. Check this one out. It was definitely the number three most probably unseen movie in 2024 for me.
Never heard of it. I'm just going to give you some accolades, Jeff. You do find these gems, these little gems. I can't remember the name of the movie, but the movie that you rated recently about the girl who worked in the diner, like the old-fashioned diner with the father. I would have never
Yep.
thought of that or heard of that if, in case you pointed it out. The one on Shudder. You always find
Yep.
the good gems. Thank you for your
Thanks.
service. So I believe it's my turn. So I was pretty split on the difference between number one and number two. And at the end of the day, I thought about, what made me feel, more deeply. So the number two is probably technically a better movie, but the number one was a better movie to me. But either way, they were both fantastic. The number two for me was the best of the second half of 2024. I mean, hands down, Wicked. Wicked. I mean, I sat in the movie theater. It was completely full, like an old-fashioned, movie showing, and everyone was dead silent the entire time in practically a trance because it was that good. And the last 10 minutes or 15 minutes of movie, I'm like, this is really hit next level stuff. I mean, this is the stuff that motion pictures should really be made of. The whole thing was excellent. I mean, there's some minor critiques. You can find critiques about anything, I suppose, but at the end of the day, it was 4 out of 4 stars. I mean, this is why I go to movies. So Wicked, John Cho, starring Ariana Grande, Jeff Goldblum, a bunch of other people, and Cynthia Enriro as the Wicked Witch or the Green Witch, whatever have you. But man, Jeff, if you haven't seen Wicked yet, I don't know, but that was one you should have gone out and seen in the face to face in the old school movie house. It was pure magic.
Yeah. It's I haven't I've seen half of it. So story behind that for me is the kids went to see it. They went with their grandmother and they enjoyed it, right? And my wife and I hadn't seen it, so we were waiting for it to come out, and then we decided we were going to watch it together. And so like, she barely can we be in the same room together right now, my wife and I. So we started that one. And we also got a dog for Christmas. So there's a lot going on. So we sat down to watch the movie and we got about halfway through it before everybody needed something or the dog needed something or something like that. So we haven't gotten back to it. So I've seen the first half of it. So far, so good. But yeah, I haven't completed it yet, so I couldn't include it in my list.
Well, you're in for a treat because it gets good, real good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess it's my turn now at number two. Good pick with Wicked there. It's my number two again. A little lesser known type, top two, and probably one is lesser known. I would think. I don't know. Who knows? We'll find out when we get there. We're spoiler alert. I'm getting to number one already. No, number two. I'm pretty sure this was on Netflix, and this was such a surprise to me. I had it on my list for a long period of time, and and it was just amazing. This is about an Irish rap band, and it is basically takes place in Belfast, and you're watching this movie, and it's about so what. This is based on true story that they're trying to eliminate the Irish language that they speak in Belfast and in Ireland, and they're trying to make it a European language and stop people from doing it. So these guys start a band where they're using the Irish language and they're challenging the people who are trying to rid the language, right? So that's like the plot line. But the way it's delivered is amazing, right? And I'm watching, and there's like two younger guys who are in it, and I'm watching them. I'm not sure which one I like more as an actor. Like the one guy has great nonverbal actions and when he acts and stuff, and the other guy was really cool too. So I was like, man, I don't know which actor I like more. And then they introduced the DJ, so it's a teacher that they know that a music teacher that gets involved. He's got to wear a mask, and on IMDb the guy has a mask on. Come to find out that these are the actual members of the band Kneecap. And that was the movie. It was called Kneecap. So it's like the origin story of this Irish band that has two young kids. When I say kids, I mean in their 20s, whatever, who are like, like kind of like drug dealers, but rap. And this guy finds them and says, "Hey, I can help you guys." And he's like behind the DJ, but he can't let people know because they're doing all kinds of crazy stuff on stage. And he can't let everybody know he's a teacher that he's in the band, so he wears a mask. And it is just such an amazing movie. And the band themselves are the actors in the movie. And just when I found that out at the end of the movie, I was like, oh, I think these two actors are pretty cool. I like the way they do it. And then I was like, they're not actors. I mean, they're acting as themselves, but they did such a good job on film. You would think that they were actors. So, really fun movie, enlightening, understanding, what's going on with the language and this kneecap rap group. But they even show at the end like them progressing from like 2019 forward, and becoming a band. But that was one I would recommend everybody to see. A lot of fun. And I don't know which one of the band members were my favorite, but it was a fun ride.
Sounds like you found a hidden gem. It sounds like you really, I got like your eye, you lit up as you were speaking about it. It sounds like you really loved it.
Yeah,
That's
it was
wonderful.
good.
So my number one movie, I'm gonna go here. My number one movie, the best of the second half of 2024. The movie that I believe to be the best of the second half of 2024. And I'm gonna prelude this. I have no, saying this. I'm a person of faith, and I saw this movie. I actually saw it twice in the movie theater. Again, I have the movie pass, so it didn't, cost me anything exactly. But the ending both times drew me profusely to tears. I mean, I was literally sitting there crying with tears pouring down to the fact that somebody next to me said, like, put his hand on my shoulder, like, "Are you going to be okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm going to be all right." But it would just hit me so hard. It was a faith-based movie, and it was called The Firing Squad. The Firing Squad. The director is Timothy Che, James Bradington. Cuba Gooding Jr. was really the most known person in it. Kevin Sorbo, he was from Hercules years ago, and Eric Roberts had a small part. He wasn't in it much, but really, Cuba Gooding Jr. was the most known person in it in that sense. And long story short, it was about, refugees. They weren't really refugees, but they were basically drug dealers or drug mules, exactly what they were. And they were put in a prison that was abroad, and they wouldn't release them. They wouldn't release them. I mean, it was called the Firing Squad. So what do you think? It was a real true story. So, they were put to execution penalty in the movie. And it was about the star of the movie and Cuba Gooding Jr. finding God and finding Jesus while locked up in prison, put with the execution penalty. I mean, I'm not going to spoil it for you. I guess you could look up what actually happened. But at the very end of the movie, Cuba Gooding Jr. himself sang the song Amazing Grace. And all of the people in the prison walked out as he sang. And man, it hit me really hard. And what happened at the very, very end, I guess, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. At the end, the God kind of befriended, even though, I mean, they were executed at the end, but the God kind of befriended them, and he went to the religious service, and he literally fell on his knees to the ground as a religious song came on, and just the whole thing, man, it just really hit me in the feels. I don't get too personal, but for a variety of reasons, I'm a faith-based person. The Firing Squad, man, it was the best movie I've seen really all year.
Yeah. I never even heard of it, and I watch the faith-based movies all the time. You know what I mean? Like if I can't find something else, it's you can always find one of those pure flicks, and they're always usually pretty good. I mean, sometimes they don't, they don't have the highest budget and they don't have the best actors. In this case, it sounds like they did. So I didn't even know about this one, so I definitely wrote it down. So I'm gonna check that one out.
I'm fairly certain it's on Amazon Prime, but it wasn't promoted at all. You have to like know about it and physically type it in. The Firing Squad. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Oh, good, good. That was a good unknown movie at the end. I wasn't expecting that. I thought you'd hit us with a blockbuster, but no. There you go. A
Sure.
little something for everybody. All right. This one I don't think is well known either. So this is my number one. Again, I had to choose from a bunch of them. It was tied. It was tied with Kneecap, so I think these two could flip flop. But this is the one that came to the top when I sorted my IMDb ratings for this past year. And it came out in 2024. And there's bank robberies that are happening, and it's in the Pacific Northwest, right? So up in like Washington and Oregon and all that kind of stuff. Um, and it stars Jude Law, Nicholas Hoult, and Ty Sheridan, right? So a nice all-star cast, I think. And Jude Law, don't know if I like him or not, but in this movie, I did. He was almost unrecognizable. I mean, once you realize who he is, it's like, okay, now you can see him. But at first, it was like he looks so different in this role. But essentially, like I think they're either neo-Nazis or something like that. And Nicholas Hoult is like breaking away in a bad way from the whole congregation, I guess, of whatever they are, and he's going out on his own to try and create this whole new world order kind of thing, the order. And so it's all about him and what he's doing with his group of people, breaking away from the bigger group of, I guess, neo-Nazis or whatever we call them. And then Jude Law is trying to figure it out with Ty Sheridan. He's a local sheriff or like a deputy, and he's involved in all of this. And they're trying to figure out who's doing these robberies and what's going on. And I really enjoyed it. Again, unexpected, because I didn't, sometimes I don't find out these movies until they, I get an email every Tuesday that tells me some of the new movies that are out. That one popped up. I'm like, oh, I love those actors. I like Ty Sheridan and Nicholas Hoult. And like I said, I'm, whatever on Jude Law, but I'm like, I'm definitely going to watch it. And it was worth the watch. Probably could have been two, probably couldn't have been number one, but it definitely needs to be mentioned in the second half of the year. The Order, check it out. If you like those actors, if you're interested in like those bank robbery type movies, this is really good.
I've never heard of it. I'll be honest with you. I've never heard of it, but it sounds good. You pulled away from our old friend Emil Hurst, and you've turned to the side of Nicholas. You always mention him, Nicholas Hoult. You love him. You always mention him. I feel like you reviewed three movies in a row or something that he was in.
Yeah. Well, he's out in Nosferatu. Is that how you say
Yeah,
that one's out? But that one came out this year. I haven't seen it yet, but he's in that as well. So I'm excited to see that.
yeah. I guess I
Yeah, I
like
like
him
him.
too. He's pretty good. Yeah, I guess I like him.
Oh, yeah. So there we have it. There's our top 10, top five from me, top five from Dominic. We didn't cross over. It wasn't one of the same. How about that?
Oh,
That's pretty cool. I will do an honorable mention because I think this is probably I want to talk about because I want to kind of spread the word on this. If you haven't seen the review yet, for me, The Man in a White Van, it is produced by the Legion Movie Company, which is a fan-based movie company. Really excited about that. I liked what they put together. I expected, a little bit of a lower budget type movie, but it wasn't. It was really good. They have more movies coming out. So look in the Legion movie production company. Join. I signed up. I haven't donated yet, but I plan on it. But The Man in the White Van brings back memories of back in the 80s of, that coming on. And I thought the movie, struck a chord. And I also have, the relation to the Legion, the excitement around that whole thing. So I want to do a shameless plug there. I probably would have made, top something. It would have been talked about at some point, but I think it came out in 2025, I think. But anyway, check it out.
I think you did a review on that, and the white van thing goes back to the early '90s also, because I was around when that was a big thing, and yeah, probably the '80s, but it even goes into the early '90s. Where my parents told me like, stay away from the white van, the man in a
Yeah.
white van and stuff. I mean, if you tell a younger person, I don't know what that means, but someone who's, I mean, someone who's our age, maybe they would know white van.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, check that one out. That one was pretty good. It's pretty cool because then they because I'm part of it now. They ask, what did you think of the film? And I'm like, well, here's a whole video on what I thought about it. Although
Maybe they'll get
somebody
back to you.
mentioned
Maybe
on
it'll
the
be
thing it was too
featured.
long.
Yeah.
What's
Well,
that?
okay, maybe it'll be featured as something.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, that's it. Please comment below what your thoughts are on our top five each side. Do you agree, disagree? Do you miss anything? Love to hear it again for the second half of 2024, but appreciate everybody tuning in. Any last words, Dominic?
I do want to say I really do appreciate Kimmel's Irish Pub. I mean, it's life isn't easy. External struggles, internal turmoil, struggles this way and that way. The economy is crap right now. When you turn to Kimmel's Irish Pub for like 7 or 8 minutes, you could just turn off your mind in a sense and just have a good time. So I think you do pretty good service, Jeff Kimmel, Kimmel's Irish Pub.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah. I mean, and I love feedback. So when people leave comments and stuff like that, love to hear it, there's trolls, but there's not many anymore, at least on
No.
my channel. I think they stopped. So please, leave comments. Let me know your thoughts. Happy to do what everybody enjoys watching. But thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. Kimmel's Irish Pub.
Thank you.